Christian Horner, the team principal of Red Bull Racing, is facing a serious challenge to his position, as he is being investigated by the Red Bull brand in Austria for alleged misconduct. The investigation was triggered by a complaint from a female employee who accused Horner of inappropriate and aggressive behavior. The complaint was not reported to the HR department of Red Bull Racing, but directly to the headquarters of Red Bull in Austria, which hired an external lawyer to handle the case. Horner has strongly denied the allegations, but the brand in Austria has advised him to step down from his role and deal with the case in private. This could have a devastating impact on his reputation and F1 career, especially if he is found guilty by the external lawyer. Horner has been one of the longest-serving and most successful members of the team, leading them to 4 consecutive constructors and drivers' championships from 2010 to 2013. His legacy and influence in Red Bull Racing are unmatched, and his potential replacement has already been rumored even before a proper trial was conducted. However, there is also a possibility that this investigation is a massive setup to tarnish Horner's name and pave the way for a new leadership of the Austrian team. Red Bull Racing has started its own independent internal investigation into Horner's case to ensure that he has done nothing wrong or to prevent such incidents from happening again. The internal investigation could also reveal why the female employee did not trust the Red Bull Racing branch to handle her complaint and instead went over their heads to Austria. This could indicate a lack of confidence or authority in the Red Bull Racing management or a hidden agenda from the new ownership of Red Bull. Before we continue any further with this video, we want to make sure that you guys understand that we are not taking anyone's side here. There is an investigation in progress. A hearing is supposed to happen this Friday, and everything should come clear on that day. Until then, we are merely reporting the situation from our point of view, which we are keen on keeping neutral. Until Horner is proven guilty by the external lawyer hired by the Red Bull brand in Austria, any of these accusations are based on a non-solid basis and will nonetheless have a negative impact on his future in F1. As the entire F1 world is already familiar with, Horner has been accused by a female employee of inappropriate and aggressive behavior, which quite frankly came as a bit of a surprise considering the period in which the female victim stated these allegations. If the claims are confirmed true on Friday, it is very likely that Horner has ended his F1 career as team principal once and for all. But on the other hand, if he doesn't, he is still going to be looked at by many as the team principal who managed to buy his way out of this case, even if that is very unlikely to be the outcome of this entire saga. Horner has denied the allegations, and he has the support of his lawyers, who claim that this is all a conspiracy to oust him from his position and replace him with someone else. The irony is that the person who is rumored to take over his role as the team principal of Red Bull is the person who is sitting next to him in the paddock at every race, Jonathan Wheatley, the current sporting director of the Austrian team. Wheatley is a loyal and long-serving member of the team, who joined from Renault in 2006 and rose through the ranks to become the sporting director. Some media outlets, such as BBC Sport and The Times, have reported that the relationship between Horner and the current headquarters of Red Bull in Austria has become strained and tense. They have suggested that maybe it was Helmut Marko, the senior advisor of Red Bull, who started this scandal after Horner allegedly tried to get him fired late in 2023. But these are just speculations and rumors, and there is no concrete evidence to back them up. The Times has contacted Red Bull's factory in Austria, and the response was exactly what you would expect. They denied the allegations of friction between the leadership of the company and Christian Horner. Horner's situation is very delicate and precarious at this moment, because no matter what angle you look at it, he will definitely come out as a loser. The question is, how big of a damage will his reputation suffer? This is why we want to stay as neutral as possible, because maybe all of this is just one big hoax, and there is nothing behind it. But if the allegations are found to be true, which will be revealed on Friday's hearing, then Horner will have no arguments to defend himself, and he will face a harsh punishment. He could lose his job, his credibility, and his dignity. But even if he is not found guilty, he will still have to deal with the fact that he has been involved in such an investigation and that his name has been tarnished by these accusations. As a high-profile member of a team, there will always be people who will assume that he pulled some strings or bribed the right people to clear his name. And in their eyes, he will always be the guilty side of the story. But why is such a powerful and dominant team going through all of this when everything is going super smooth for them? And why are these claims made in such a sensitive period when Horner has little to no time to defend himself, now that the car launch and the preseason testing are coming? This is one of the main arguments as to why the entire story could be a huge setup, apart from the fact that the allegation was taken directly to Red Bull's headquarters. Obviously, replicating Horner's success at Red Bull is going to be impossible, to say the least. Under his command, the Austrian team won 7 drivers and 6 constructors championships and is now currently in their most dominant era, with Verstappen and Perez winning all but one race in 2023. Horner has been the team principal of Red Bull since 2005, and nobody has ever filed a complaint against him before. This raises some questions as to whether he is guilty of what he is accused of. That is also backed up by the fact that Red Bull has a new ownership group, backed by the Thai shareholders. It is this same group that Horner allegedly tried to pursue in pushing Helmut Marko out of the team, due to the toxic and racist comments he made towards Perez. Even Hamilton went on to bash the Austrian team and said he expects nothing less from a squad that has Marko in their leadership structure. But then again, what does inappropriate behavior actually involve? It could be anything from yelling or calling somebody names to actually physically assaulting them, which is definitely out of line when it comes to dealing with an employee. Many people are feeling disgruntled that it is only Horner's name that is being dragged through this case, while the female accuser is not yet to be named publicly until the case is resolved. In the worst-case scenario, even then we may not even hear the name of the person who was responsible for the breakdown of Horner's career. There have been rumors already that Jonathan Wheatley will potentially become the new team principal, and it is safe to say that he will continue the road that Horner has paved for him because he knows basically the same people that Horner does in the team and will have no trouble applying an authoritative stance to them. Of course, when he joined the team back in 2006 from Renault, he was far from the role he is doing today, and it is obvious that people in Red Bull Racing are keener on working with Horner than they are with any new leader. Which might be one of the reasons why the brand in Austria wants to put someone who is very close to Horner in terms of management experience and presence in the team. Helmut Marko has also been offered the job, but he refused it swiftly. And the fact that he refused to talk about Horner's situation speaks volumes about whether or not he could be involved in all of this as well. But Red Bull Racing did not leave their team principal out in the cold as they launched their own internal investigation parallel to the external one by the brand in Austria against the team principal of Red Bull. The F1 branch will try to see whether all of this is just a huge setup and whether somebody is trying to put dirt on Horner's name on a non-solidified basis. With this in mind, do you think that Horner did what he was accused of doing? And more importantly, do you think there is a replacement for the name of Jonathan Wheatley? Let us know in the comments below.